Not much has changed in terms of the way this scooter looks since Ola launched its S1 Pro back in March 2021, if I'm not mistaken. More importantly, what that means is that you can easily fit your laptop backpack in there along with your monsoon rain gear. What better place to test that than Mumbai, with the multiple riding conditions that we have, to say the least. Yeah, so who would I recommend this scooter for? Now, if your daily commute is Good morning, YouTube. I'm OGF. This is the Gen 3 OLA S1 Pro. We've been riding it around for a while now, and I'm going to share my 2 cents about the scooter in today's review. Welcome to the channel. Now, my YouTube analytics suggests that most of you guys who watch my videos are young working professionals who commute daily to work on your two-wheelers, plan weekend rides and an interstate ride or two every now and then in a year. And keeping that in mind, I've also noticed the rise in the number of people who have more than two-wheelers in their garages. What I mean by that is that they usually have a vehicle for daily commutes, more likely a scooter and an EV now in the recent past, and then a performance motorcycle or a purpose-built motorcycle that they use to, enjoy themselves over the weekend, and probably 2 on that too. Keeping that demographic in mind, I decided to change the way I usually talk about the vehicle that I'm reviewing. I'll be talking about the features and the specs that you get with the Ola S1 Pro, and why it might be one of the options that you should be considering if you're looking at the EV segment for your daily commutes. Now, while it is subjective, let's start off by talking about the design and the practicality. Not much has changed in terms of the way this scooter looks since Ola launched its S1 Pro back in March 2021, if I'm not mistaken. While most of the changes have been structurally related to be able to add a little more rigidness to the scooter, I think the most noticeable one being the front suspension. The design and aesthetics of the scooter have pretty much remained unchanged. And whether that's a good thing or not, I think I'd leave that up to you guys, because I think these scooters are easily noticeable in a crowd of other EVs. It's got a sleek, minimalistic design, and I think they've been able to distinguish themselves from the rest of the competition pretty well. Personally, I like the way it's designed. They've launched a lot of additional colors for you to be able to choose from a host of looks that you want on your scooter, from bright colors to some a little more covert, like this jet black scooter that I'm riding today. And I believe the top of the line Ola S1 Pro Plus gets the sporty red, which is an exclusive color for that model only. Now, commuting to work daily on a motorcycle means that I'm going to have to carry a backpack like the one I'm wearing right now, the Kriega R20, which allows me to accommodate a laptop easily, or I have to strap luggage onto the back of my motorcycle on the tail rack, usually a Carbonado mod pack 20 liters, and that allows me to then carry all of my office stuff along with my rain gear and maybe any other riding gear that I need to carry along. But that does mean that it's all exposed to the elements and the sweat patches that I might have on me when I reach office, depending on the weather and so on and so forth. There's a bit of inconvenience involved, which we're all willing to overcome. On a scooter like the Ola S1 Pro, you get 34 liters of under-seat storage, which means that you can easily carry 2 half-face helmets along with the portable charger that comes with the scooter. More importantly, what that means is that you can easily fit your laptop backpack in there along with your monsoon rain gear and a full face helmet once you park the scooter at your office location, or your college for that matter. The footboard on this is also flat, which allows you to easily accommodate groceries thanks to that hook over there, and should allow you to accommodate a dog if they are comfortable sitting on moving vehicles. Just for the record, Bane is not. Now let's talk performance. Most of us who ride ICE two-wheelers don't really expect much from EVs, but you'd be surprised at how much of a punch they pack. This Ola S1 Pro Gen 3 gets a 4 kWh battery. There's multiple battery options available across the range, and it makes 11 kilowatts of peak power. What that means is that you get a 0 to 40 kilometers an hour time of 2.7 seconds and a top speed of 125 kilometers per hour. And that's impressive for a scooter, also keeping in mind that you get different riding modes, so you can deliver that power differently depending on which mode you'll be riding in. Now, how many of us would actually hit that top speed on our daily commutes? I don't think I've ever done that on my ride to work, but if that's something that you're into as well, then it's nice to know that that option is available. Now, me personally, I've been riding the scooter for most of the time in economy mode, which is capped at 42 kilometers per hour. I will be changing it in a few seconds to normal and then sport mode. But I've noticed that in economy mode, that 42 kilometers per hour limit was adequate for me to keep up and at times even overtake a generously proportioned female rider on an ICE scooter.
Many hours later.
Now, changing modes is easy. We are currently in eco mode. I'll just hit the mode button, switch to normal, and we've got additional power available. Okay, so normal mode's capped at 80, I believe. And then if we switch to sport mode, that goes well past 80, I believe. And that is quick. Okay, don't want to be breaking any speed limits, so I'll go back into normal mode. And I think I'll probably switch back to eco instead. Now, with the change in modes, I think the obvious question would be the range. On Ola's website, the claimed IDC range is 242 kilometers, but keep in mind that this is in ideal conditions and probably in eco mode for most of the time. Real world conditions and a good mix of the different riding modes that you get with the scooter, you should expect to get about 160 kilometers on a full charge. Although I wouldn't recommend that you reach a stage where you're close to 0%. Maybe about 10 to 15% is when you should then consider charging the battery a little further. The good news is that you can charge the scooter to a regular wall socket using the 750 watt charger that's provided with the scooter. It does take about 6 hours for a full charge to take place, so that means either overnight while you're sleeping or during an entire office shift, depending on how long you work for. I know Gen Z works a lot less than us millennials. There is also the option of the hypercharger. Now, Ola has set up multiple hypercharging stations across the country. This allows you to charge your scooter way faster than your regular wall socket. I've been looking at the options available through Ola's website, and there's primarily 2 locations that are closest to me, one in Malad and one in Parel, and neither of those are on my way to office. So for me personally, I'd have to go out of my way to be able to fast charge the scooter, so that's not really practical, but I believe that's still something that Ola is working on, and there would be a more dense network set up going forward. Time will tell. Now then, let's talk ride quality and comfort, and what better place to test that than Mumbai, with the multiple riding conditions that we have, to say the least. The OLA S1 Pro has a suspension setup that leans a little more towards the firmer side, but I think that's a good thing, because if it was softer, you'd be bottoming out on most of the speed breakers and the craters and potholes that we have here. Firmer setup also means that when you do switch it into the sport mode and want to ride a little more spiritedly, the handling complements that. The seat on this Gen 3 is also longer, while also being a little better cushioned than that on the Gen 2. The dual tone seat that they've used also has material that offers a decent amount of grip, so you're not moving around too much on your seat when experiencing Mumbai's potholes and braking hard or accelerating hard too. Also, what that means for the pillion is there's a fair amount of grip to keep you planted in your seat and you don't slide forwards or backwards during hard braking or acceleration, which is always nice. Now let's talk about connectivity and tech features that you get with the scooter. While there's a host of them, I'll talk about a few which should appeal to you as a daily office commuter. Firstly, you get a nice 7-inch color display that you can use, and it's also customizable to quite an extent. There's multiple layouts that you can have, and because the display itself is a touchscreen display, you can make all these changes to the scooter just by using your fingers. Now this S1 Pro, like all of the other Gen 3 models, comes with MoveOS 5, which is OLA's operating system. That also has its own navigation system that's built in, so they don't use Google Maps, they use their own OLA version of that. It also has cruise control, if you look at that button over there, which is activated beyond 20 kilometers an hour, and it also doubles up as a reverse switch, so you can then park easily in case you need that assistance. Additionally, like most other EVs, whether it's a 2 or a 4-wheeler, you also have connectivity options to a mobile application. That unlocks the potential of using... Oh man, we're green, but we have to deal with this. Is a dog also part of this whole thing? Seems to be enjoying himself. There's also a possibility of connecting your mobile device to the scooter using the dedicated mobile app that Ola provides you with, and that would unlock the potential of then using it to receive alerts, and it also allows you to answer phone calls using that microphone that's built into the section just below the 7-inch display, which is nice. But I wouldn't recommend that you make and receive calls while you're riding. It's always better to step aside, park your motorcycle, and make your calls then. Yeah, so who would I recommend this scooter for? Now, if your daily commute is less than 60 kilometers a day, I think this is a very, very reasonable choice and something that you should definitely consider. It is economical considering the range you get from the battery. Of course, you can ride it in different modes, so there is that amount of sportiness that it offers if you want to ride it like that. I read somewhere that your cost per kilometer is about a few paise, and that's ridiculous considering the amount we currently spend on fuel. Ride quality is good, it handles well, and there's a decent amount of storage available too. Plus, charging doesn't take that long. Oh, what is this guy up to? There's a few things though I would ask you to look out for when making your purchase decision. Number one being the availability of a charging spot at your home or at your office or at college if that's a possibility. It does take a full 6 hours to charge this to 100%, so that's something that you might want to look out for. Additionally, the availability of hyperchargers somewhere close to where you live or where you work, or at least on the way to your office and back home. There is also then the question about the service network, and while Ola has been working on that in the recent past, and I've not really seen too much of an uproar on social media about that, I think that's still something that's in development, and I still think that's something that they need to work on if they want their vehicles to be successful in the Indian market. People appreciate the price point that they're offering their vehicles at, but I think quality is also something that we are now used to in India. I've noticed Ola has been listening to customer feedback and making changes in their vehicles over time, and with the updates that they've been dishing out to their scooter lineup. And I think if they continue down that path, they could be successful in the Indian market. Alright, if you've got any questions about the S1 Pro, please leave them in the comments and I'll try my best to help you out. If you own one of these, please do share your feedback in the comments too. It'll be lovely to hear what your ownership experience has been like over the past few years or months that you've had the scooter for. Alright, that's pretty much all I had for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, please share your feedback in the comments. As always guys, at least wear your helmets while riding your two-wheelers, whether they are motorcycles, scooters or even EVs, and ride safe. It's a freaking jungle out there. Goodbye.